Hey everyone, let's talk about the Nobel Prize, one of the biggest awards in the world. It all started with Alfred Nobel, a Swedish inventor, scientist and businessman, way back in 1901. You might know him as the guy who invented dynamite. He left a ton of money to start these prizes, wanting to reward people who do amazing things for the world. At first, the prizes were for physics, chemistry, medicine, literature and peace. Later, in 1968, they added economics, thanks to a donation from Sweden's central bank. Each prize shows what Nobel was interested in and what he valued. These days, the Nobel Prize is super important. It's all about awesome achievements and smart thinking. The people who win, called laureates, do groundbreaking work. Over time, the Nobel Prize has become a really big deal. It encourages not just science and writing, but also peace and working together. Winning a Nobel Prize is a dream for lots of people, especially in universities. These prizes show how important research is. They've made lots of researchers and thinkers famous, giving them a chance to do even more great work. But here's a funny thing, there's no Nobel Prize for math. Why is that? So, how do you win a Nobel Prize? It's not easy. There are special committees of experts who decide who deserves the prize. They make sure the winner's work has really helped people. Different groups are in charge of different prizes. For example, a science academy in Sweden picks the winners for physics and chemistry, while a medical institute picks the winner for medicine. The Nobel Prizes are given out every year on December 10th, the anniversary of Alfred Nobel's death. It's a big party in Stockholm, Sweden, except for the Peace Prize, which is given out in Oslo, Norway. The King and Queen of Sweden are there, and it's a really fancy event. The winners get a medal, a certificate, and a bunch of money. The amount changes, but it's always a lot, showing how much their work is worth. The ceremony is a way to show everyone how important smart people and helpful people are. With all the careful picking and big celebrations, the Nobel Prize is a huge honor. But the fact that there's no math prize is strange, and people have lots of ideas about why. The Nobel Prize was established by Alfred Nobel's will in 1895, and the first prizes were awarded in 1901. The selection process is rigorous, ensuring that only the most deserving individuals are honored. Why isn't there a Nobel Prize for math? Well, there are lots of stories. One story says Alfred Nobel didn't like a famous mathematician named Gösta Mittag-Leffler, maybe because they both liked the same girl. But nobody really knows if that's true. Another idea is that Nobel thought mathematicians already got enough rewards and that math wasn't as helpful to people as other things. Nobel liked inventions and helping others, so maybe he thought math was too abstract. Some people think Nobel just forgot about math. He was really into science and writing, and maybe he just didn't talk to any mathematicians. Even though there's no Nobel Prize for math, all these stories are interesting. They show how curious people are about Nobel and his prizes, and how the mystery continues to intrigue us. Okay, so there's no Nobel Prize for math, but there's something else, the Fields Medal. It's like the Nobel Prize for Mathematicians. A Canadian mathematician, John Charles Fields, started it, and the first one was given out in 1936. It's awarded every 4 years to mathematicians under 40 to celebrate their awesome work and encourage them to do even more. The Fields Medal is all about recognizing big discoveries and supporting young mathematicians. It shows that math is always changing, and there's always something new to learn. Experts choose the winners very carefully, so you know they're the best of the best. The medal is a symbol of creativity in math, and people call it the Nobel Prize of Math. It doesn't come with as much money as a Nobel Prize, but it's a huge honor. Winners are famous for being super smart and helping math move forward. The Fields Medal is perfect because there's no Nobel for math. It shows how important math is in science. By celebrating young mathematicians, the Fields Medal helps build a strong group of math experts who love exploring the unknown. John Charles Fields' vision was to inspire and support the next generation of mathematicians. Gap 3S. Hey everyone, let's talk about the Nobel Prizes. They're a really big deal in the science world. They're not just about giving awards to smart people, they're also about showing how important science is for everyone. When someone wins a Nobel Prize, the whole world knows about it. This usually means they get more money for their research, which is awesome. This can help build new labs, work with other scientists, and discover new things. Gap 3S. Nobel Prize winners become like superheroes for young scientists. They show everyone that if you work hard and follow your passions, you can do amazing things. Their stories are super inspiring. The Nobel Prizes also help people understand important science stuff that can help solve big problems in the world. Gap 3S. The Nobel Prizes aren't just for scientists either. They encourage governments and big organizations to put money into research because they show that new ideas are important for making the world a better place. They also help explain complicated science stuff in a way that everyone can understand, which is really cool. Gap 3S. So the Nobel Prizes aren't just about one person winning an award. They're about everyone working together to learn new things and make the world a better place. They remind us that teamwork makes the dream work in science. Gap 3S. Okay, so there's no Nobel Prize for math. Bummer, right? But don't worry, there are other super cool awards for math wizards, like the Fields Medal. It's like the Nobel Prize of math, but only for young mathematicians under 40. They get it every 4 years for doing awesome math stuff. It's a big deal. Gap 3S. Then there's the Abel Prize, named after this Norwegian math guy, Niels Henrik Abel. This one's given every year to anyone who does really great math, no matter how old they are. It's a huge honor, just like the Nobel Prize. Gap 3S. Now get this. There are these things called the Clay Millennium Prizes. They're like a challenge. Solve one of these 7 super hard math problems and bam, you win $1 million. These problems are so tough, they're called the Millennium Problems. Solving one would be like totally epic. Gap 3S. And finally, we have the Chern Medal. This one goes to someone who's been amazing at math their whole life. It's named after this awesome Chinese-American mathematician, Xing-Shen Chern. It's like a lifetime achievement award for math superstars. Gap 3S. All these awards and more show how important math is. They're like a big shout out to all the math geniuses out there. And they encourage young people to get into math too. Gap 3S. So even though there's no Nobel Prize for math, these other awards are pretty awesome. They celebrate all the cool things mathematicians do all over the world. Gap 3S. Alright, let's hear from some super smart math wizards about what these fancy awards mean to them. Voiceover with text overlay of quotes. Dr. Manjul Bhargava, Fields Medal winner. Getting the Fields Medal was a huge honor. It showed everyone how cool and important math is. It makes young math lovers want to be awesome too. Prof. Cedric Villani, Fields Medal winner. Awards like the Fields Medal and the Abel Prize make everyone notice math. They show how creative and hard-working math people are. It's like showing off how amazing math can be. Prof. Maria Mirzakhani, Fields Medal winner. The Fields Medal showed that all my hard work in math paid off. It reminds us that if you love something and keep trying, you can discover amazing things. Dr. S.R. Srinivasa Varadhan, Abel Prize winner. The Abel Prize showed that math is a team sport. It's not just about one person, but about everyone working together. Gap 3S. These math superstars show us how important awards are. They celebrate how awesome each person is and make other people excited about math. Gap 3S. Awards like the Fields Medal and Abel Prize encourage people to be creative and do their best. They show us that math isn't just numbers and equations, it's about being creative, never giving up, and always wanting to learn more. Gap 3S. Okay, that's the end of our trip through the world of Nobel Prizes and those super cool math awards. Gap 3S. Okay, so we've talked about the big awards in math, like the Fields Medal and the Abel Prize. But what about the Of Math Awards? What's next? Will there be new ways to celebrate super smart mathematicians? Gap 3S. Think about it. Technology is zooming ahead, and working together between different subjects is becoming super important. So future math awards might go to teams, not just one person. Imagine mathematicians teaming up with computer whizzes, biologists, and engineers to solve tricky problems. Gap 3S. Maybe there could be a new prize for applied mathematics, like math that actually stuff in the real world. Think climate change predictions, figuring out diseases, or even making smart money moves. This kind of award would show everyone how useful math is and get more math people working on these important problems. Gap 3S. Here's another cool idea. Awards for making math fun and easy to understand. Imagine prizes for awesome teachers, exciting public talks, or cool math videos online. That could inspire a whole bunch of new math lovers. Gap 3S. And since the world is getting smaller and smaller, maybe we'll see awards for international math teams. Prizes for working together across different countries would show how math connects everyone, no matter where they live. Gap 3S. So the future of math awards looks pretty bright. We might see new prizes for teamwork, real-world problem-solving, making math fun, and global partnerships. These awards will keep inspiring amazing math discoveries and push the limits of what we can do with numbers. Gap 3S. Gap 3S. Okay, friends, let's take a breather and think about what we've learned. We've explored the amazing world of Nobel Prizes, figuring out why they're so important and how they're chosen. Gap 3S. We even looked into the curious case of why there's no Nobel Prize for math, sharing some interesting theories and stories. Gap 3S. Then we discovered the Mathematician's Nobel, called the Fields Medal, and other big awards that celebrate amazing math minds. Gap 3S. We also saw how these awards affect science and our lives, helping us learn new things and inspiring the next generation of smarty-pants. Gap 3S. But wait, there's more. We heard from famous mathematicians, learning about their awesome work and what they think about all this. We even imagined what math awards might look like in the future. Gap 3S. So what's the big deal? Even though math doesn't have a Nobel Prize, it definitely has its heroes and awards. These awards, old and new, are super important for celebrating and promoting math. Gap 3S. They remind us that math isn't just about numbers and formulas, it's about solving real-world puzzles, working together and making the world a better place. Gap 3S. As we finish up, let's remember how important it is to recognize and celebrate smart people. These awards, the stories they tell, and the people who win them inspire us all, showing us what's possible and helping us make new discoveries. Gap 3S. Thanks for hanging out with us on this awesome math adventure. Stay curious, keep learning, and hey, who knows, maybe someday you'll win a fancy math award yourself. Gap 3S. So, the Nobel Prizes are a big deal for lots of areas, but there's still no prize for math. We've heard some fun stories about why, but the Fields Medal is a great substitute. The Fields Medal does a great job of celebrating young mathematicians and recognizing amazing work that helps everyone. Even though it's not a Nobel, the Fields Medal puts math in the spotlight. Both the Nobel Prizes and the Fields Medal are all about celebrating smart people and their achievements. They push the limits of what we know and inspire others to do great things. The Nobel Prizes and the Fields Medal both play crucial roles in recognizing and inspiring excellence.